Hey, you. Yeah, you, come here. I want to show you. This is what happened last time on the Incorrigible party.
Still weary from their night at the theater, and having received instructions to give the amulet of Kalar to Corporal Sally, the party returns to the tickly servant and does just that. Shakara finds an unconscious Dreg, a blood-soaked Halsa, and a dead Doppleganger Mullen in her room. Having barely survived this attack, Dreg accepts Falzern's offer to sleep the night in his tiny hut, while the others retire to their own rooms. But their sleep is interrupted as Falzern wakes with a painful cry to find a dagger sunk into his chest, wielded by Dreg.
And over here? The adventure continues.
Dreg is technically getting is surprising. Like, Falzern is surprised. So
we're all surprised.
You're all very surprised. So because you're all asleep,
I'm not that surprised. I kind of suspected.
So we'll do the first round of initiative where all of you would be surprised, but that would be you being asleep. Actually, technically not, because Dreg actually is first with the 21. So Dreg has stabbed you, Falzern. And because you are considered being incapacitated when you're sleeping, it is an automatic crit. So you will take 40 piercing damage.
Whoa!
Ouch.
Ugh. What does that sound like? What does Falzern say?
What does Falzern sound like?
He goes, ah! Ah! And then eyes burst open, looks around, sees that he's been stabbed by someone who looks like Dreg.
It's Brendel all over again.
So you see, Falzern, as you wake up, like, Dreg has basically straddled you in your sleep, so you're both, like, on the ground, and with his second attack, he's, instead of stabbing you, he's actually going to grab onto you and grapple you. So let's do an opposed athletics check here.
14 for... Wait, do I have any... I probably don't have any pluses. No. Yeah, 14.
Can I just say, it does warm my heart that he continually checks for any additional bonuses to dexterity or strength, but he does make the check.
I'm just hopeful that one time I'm going to see them there.
One day. But Dreg can get a 15, so basically he's got his, like, full weight on you, and it's like one arm's kind of, like, pinning you down. Next would be Mia, surprise, no actions. Shakara, surprise, no actions. Falsey, surprise, no actions. And last, Shaft, surprise, no actions. Back to the top with Dreg again, who's going to get 2 more attacks in on you. One of which is only an 8, but the other one is a 19. 19
hits.
This one, though, is only 7 piercing as he brings the dagger down again. Mia.
How far am I from Falzern's room?
I believe your room was directly adjacent to the one the gentlemen were sharing.
Okay, so I'm just gonna use, would I have 30 feet of movement, or would it be more than that, basically, to get...
You have your full turn, so you're absolutely able to dash if you want.
I just didn't know if I had to.
I'd say within 30 feet you could get to the door and throw it open and be able to see what's going on inside.
Alright. Mia rushes out of bed clankily, because she slept in her armor, and runs and kicks the door open, and what's going on?
And you see Shaft seems to be slowly waking up. And you see Falzern's tiny hut. Cannot see inside of it, but you know the sounds of the struggle are coming from within.
Okay, so I'm gonna be like, Shaft, what happened? Falzern, where are you? And I'm gonna continue to take a dash action then, I guess, to run towards the tiny hut. I don't even really remember how it works. I don't know that Mia would remember, but gonna try.
Sure, you can absolutely get up to the tiny hut, but as stipulated in the spell, those that are outside of it when it was cast cannot enter. So it is like a solid surface to you as you get up to it and put your hand on it as if to pass through.
I just out of habit check to see if banging it with a hammer does anything.
You smoke into it and it just rebounds off.
Let me in, Falzern!
Shakara.
I too will jump from bed and run out into the hallway. And I assume I see Mia running into Shaft and Fall's room, so I will run in there after her. What is going on now? What has happened?
Drake's in here with me. He's got me pinned down. He's trying to kill me.
Oh, God damn it.
We'll never get a night's sleep.
I don't know that is our main concern right now.
Shaft was slow to get out of bed.
Falzarin, let us in. That's all I can do.
Falzarin, you're next.
So, how does my current condition affect spellcasting? I forget.
It absolutely does not. You are considered to be grappled, which just means your speed is 0. So you can't stand up because your speed is 0. And you obviously can't move out of the hut because your speed is 0 unless you break the grapple, which would take your action to try.
Okay.
Could you blink out of the hut and then return from your blink in the room? So then he's trapped in the
Yes,
hut?
but it's not my most certain, because if I don't roll the right roll for blink, then it doesn't do anything.
And he wouldn't be trapped because he was inside it when it was cast, so he can go in and out.
Oh.
Yes, but I will say so. You can absolutely blink out of the hut, as the spell's stipulation, despite it being made of force, doesn't say in the spell, which some other spells do stipulate specifically, that it extends into the ethereal plane, so you'll be able to blink through it. If it were a wall of force, you would be unable to because of what it says in the spell description. And then when you reappear, that I would consider that like that's you leaving the hut, so the hut would then disappear as well.
Right.
I mean, that sounds pretty good. Then we can hit Dreg.
Yeah, I've been thinking about a few different options. So spells can't be cast through it.
Right. Like you won't be able to like dimension door through it. I will say that there, if you want to burn the resources, there's room in the hut for you to dimension door literally adjacent to where you are, and then walk out.
Yeah, I was thinking. Well, I thought about that in case, because I wasn't sure if I could dimension door out of it or not. I should have messaged you to ask, but dimension door and dispel magic's another option.
Oh yeah, that'll get rid of the hut. Absolutely, yeah. The dimension door might be the wrong. Depends exactly what the dimension door says. I believe dimension door is like a point you can think about and properly describe.
500 feet, I think, something like that, right?
Yeah. I'm leaning towards dispel magic because it's a lower spell slot. Okay, I think I will do that. Dispel magic.
Okay. The hut disappears, and you all see the previously described pinned Falzarin with Drag brandishing the dagger that Shakara gave him.
I don't think this is the Dreg that we thought he was. And am I able to use my movement to try and break free, or does the spell negate my action for doing that?
To break the grapple, it does take your action, so you are unable to do anything else. Unless you have a bonus action cantrip.
No, that'll be it.
Hut is gone. Shaft is up. Bottom of the order.
Okay, I'm going to sort of see what's going on as soon as the hut disappears. So I'm going to spin my feet around, put them up against the wall, grab onto my two swords, which are slid under the mattress with the hilts sort of sticking out, grab onto it behind my head, and flip over, trying to stab both into our buddy Drag.
Don't kill him! We need to know where the real Drag is.
Bronze Scimitar attack. 28 to hit. No Colossus Slayer, so that's 13 points slashing damage. And then I'll use I guess on my other hit, I was going to poke into him with both swords, so I'll use the Sword of Oozes on my second. And that is a 29 to hit. This time I get Colossus Slayer with acid damage. That's 29 points of damage. And then I'm not going to take my third attack, my offhanded attack, for a bonus action, but I will cast Hunter's Mark as my bonus action onto Dreg, or whatever he is.
Yeah, your two, like that second blow, like staggers, almost like the force of the strike physically moves Dreg. Not breaking the grapple, of course, but you have seriously wounded him. Back at the top, it is Dreg, though. And he's going to continue. I mean, he has Falzarin in this position. He's going to continue to try to stab into him.
I vote we call him Doppledrag.
Draggleganger?
Doppeldrag's easier to say.
Draggle Dopper.
Both of which will hit, because that's an 18 and a 22. Just for a total of 11 more piercing. And Mia, you're up.
Alright, so I'm gonna be, like, melee range with him already, right? Probably?
Yeah. I mean, if not within 5 feet, like easily able to get up to him. And usually, like there's 2 strikes that Dreg has hit Falls. Like he's made purchase with Falls, right? But like he's moving sluggishly. He can barely almost lift that 2-pound dagger, it seems, from the wounds that he suffered from Shaft.
Alright, so Mia's right up on Dreg and sees he looks tired, so hearing what Shakara said, I'm gonna try. Can I try to grapple Dreg?
Sure.
Instead of like lethally
You can do a
killing him.
non-lethal attack, where you say you don't want
Has to be melee.
to hit him.
He looks so weak and awful right now. I'm just gonna like try to grab his arms and put him behind his back. So grab him around the chest.
Let's do a flying football tackle at him.
I'm right there, and he's like this, like shaking. I just have to like bear hug him, essentially. Story-wise, I just don't see Mia doing like a little like pity tap on the head with her hammer. And
I agree.
Yeah, hammers are known for little tiny attacks.
yeah, it's a little. I get. You know what? Mia gets out a tiny little like cobbler's hammer.
There you go.
Like,
There you go. Mini Thor.
This is my non-lethal weapon.
Well, Draggleganger got a 21 for his check.
I got 18. Dang it.
Even in his weakened
No.
state, like he's incredibly like acrobatic and kind of like the way that his body moves, almost like it's like rubber, like he's made of rubber, right? It's just so flexible and almost like water flowing the way he kind of moves, and is able to avoid your grasp.
Yeah, I don't really want to summon my spiritual weapon right now. I don't think I'm done. So I just I miss my grasp of him, and I'm like, dang it!
Shakara, you're up.
First, I want to look back in the hall and see if I see Hulsa.
Yes, Hulsa has followed you, absolutely.
I'm going to look at her, and then I'll walk into the room, pull out my sword. Well, I've been carrying my sword, and I want to bonk Draggleganger on the head with the pommel of the sword.
Or as Leland calls it, the pommel.
18 to hit.
Yeah.
And for damage, is it just my strength modifier?
No, like go ahead and roll the weapon damage.
20.
Okay, yeah. Again, the pommel for the theatrics, but yeah, you just come down with the full force and you just clonk him. And he has that dagger like in the air, and then it just falls from his grip as he goes unconscious, slumping next to Falzarin on the floor of this room.
Tie him up. We need to know what he knows.
Mia doesn't hesitate.
Oh my goodness. What on earth?
Are you okay, Falzarin?
Surely this is not Dreg. Dreg would never do this.
Maybe he's mind controlled.
As Mia starts tying him up with, like, the sheet from the bed or something like that, she's, like, tying a knot. What a waste of my healing.
Well, I appreciate your healing, Mia. He may have been the end of me had you not have healed me before we went to bed last night.
Do you need more, Falzarin?
I certainly wouldn't object to it if you can spare some.
Come. And I, like,
He did quite a bit of damage.
hold my hammer out to you.
Okay, so you have Dreg tied up. As he goes unconscious, like his form hasn't changed or anything. It still looks like Dreg.
Okay.
And you see very shortly after, a couple of paladins have reacted to Falzarin's scream as well as they appear at the open doorway of the room, their weapons drawn.
We have it handled. Thank you for coming, though.
And they'll each give you a nod, resheath their swords, and disappear from sight.
Falzarin, you get 28 hit points back from my cure wounds at 4th level.
Oh, thank you, Mia. I feel much better.
You're welcome.
I walk over, sit back down on the bed, sort of slide my swords back under the mattress. Well, what are we gonna do with him now?
Do we suspect he's the other doppelganger? Do we think he has been mind controlled?
Slap him awake. We can always kill him, then we'll know.
Well, I don't see any of the tattoos that we've seen associated with the Nyogi. I wonder if this is the other doppelganger that was missing.
All right. Stay back. I take my hammer and I cast Cure Wounds at level 1 and put my hammer to his chest. I picture kind of like a little clear shock on the chest. Wake him up.
I do not know why Dreg would do this.
He gets 11 hit points back.
Yeah, you get as like a defib. You give him a shock in the chest as you cure him, and he comes to and immediately starts to struggle against his bounds. His findings.
Yeah, I'll hold him to secure it.
He reluctantly stops struggling, seeing how futile it is to try to break free.
Shakara, what do we need to know? You're the one who wanted him alive.
What were you hoping to accomplish?
The task that Erica set me upon. You've defied the cult of Kralakina.
So you are the doppelganger.
You're not as stupid as you look.
Are there any more of you?
There's always more.
What have you done with the real Dreg? Where is he?
Where's Mullen?
They're of no use now.
They are of use to us.
They're only of use as long as I deemed that they were.
Where are they?
Mullen, I'm afraid, has perished.
No. Where is he?
As my counterpart decided to go against our instructions.
So where's Dreg?
Close.
What exactly were your instructions?
To make your life as difficult as possible.
Falzarin sort of head sinks down into the palm of his hand. He's exasperated and just upset, hearing that Mullen has been killed and who knows what shape Dreg is in. Look, I'm not interested in killing you, but I want to know where my friend is.
Mia, you can find Dreg, correct?
Could. Why don't you just tell us, Doppeldrag?
Is there something in it for me if I do?
I hop off the bed. I grab my sword out from under the bed and I walk over and I stick it up under his chin. Look, I don't have time for this. I gotta get some sleep tonight. So, tell us or I'm just gonna slit your throat and we'll be done with this. And I sort of jab the short sword into his neck a little bit.
And yeah, he's kind of starts to grimace a little bit, but that grimace kind of turns into a smile. A death in service of Kralakina is to be reborn under his visage.
Shaft, no! And I grab him, pushing the sword, I push the sword away and I grab him by the neck and the chin and I say, Kralakina is pure evil. Kralakina means nothing. Tell us where Dreg is, or you will have a extremely painful death. I'll see to it.
Why don't you go ahead and roll me an intimidation with advantage because of Shaft's actions as well.
Oh, I rolled terrible twice. 13 was the highest.
So he's kind of done an opposing insight here into your intentions. He only got a 7 for his insight. So your 13 is looking pretty okay. As you kind of have him, as you have him in your grasp, he drops his form, his Dreg form, and then you see now this kind of featureless, pale gray skin of a doppelganger. I'll tell you where your friend is, but you have to let me go.
Sure. You first.
Perhaps I can speak to Erica on your behalf.
I slowly lower him to the floor, relaxing my grip. What do you mean, Erica? She's
Where
dead.
do you think Erica is?
What? What do you mean Erica's dead?
We killed Erica.
You lie.
Why would we?
When's the last time you saw her?
When we left the island to carry out her instructions. What has happened?
Yeah, before we killed her.
We stopped the battle on Heraklion. We ended Erica and Sardo and Chucky.
And Kralakina is no longer.
The Kraken has also been destroyed. Do you really want to mess with us?
You don't know what you've done. No, I cannot believe. No.
Where is Dreg?
You're liars.
I'm gonna
Release me.
smack him. I smack him across the face.
Okay, so 6 points of slapping damage. We've been here before.
Clear! Back to life. This is some form of torture.
so actually, he is restrained. So you do have advantage on attacking him.
Hit the broadside of the barn. Let's go.
And I roll the d20 and I add my strength modifier to an unarmed attack.
Right.
So that's a 21.
Dang!
To hit.
Okay. Your slap rocks him, but he doesn't go back unconscious because he got 11 points of healing. So
I'm gonna grab his. I assume he has some kind of cloth covering his chest.
yeah, he still got like the same robes that you've seen Dreg was
I'll
wearing.
grab the front of his robes, get down in his face. Where is Dreg?
Room 4.
Shaft,
Yeah.
Falzarin, please go check.
I gather myself and leave out the door with Shaft to go try and check room 4.
Yeah, I follow Falzarin.
Okay. Room 4 is locked.
Kick it in, Falzarin.
I don't think I have a spell that unlocks doors.
I knock
No,
on the
I don't.
door. And listen.
Give me a perception check.
You may have been lying and we may be waking up some poor people trying to get a good night's sleep. That's a 6.
Maybe the key's in the doppelganger's pocket.
You don't hear any movement from the other side of the door.
Okay. I'm going to try to pick the lock, I guess. If I can. Try to just open it up, stick my dagger down inside and try to shimmy it up more. More than trying to pick it, more just... So how would you like me to do?
You can roll me a sleight of hand.
17.
Yeah, you see the wear and tear on this place has been pretty significant over the years, and you're able to force this lock, breaking it in the process. But yes, you can pop it open and the door, swings into the room. And in the bed in here, you see Mullen is lying there, still bound, kind of on his side. You see his eyes are open, a glazed look over them. He's just spattered in blood. And Dreg on one of the chairs is inside, tied to it, like bound and gagged. Seems to be unconscious.
Okay, I lean back out into the hallway and go, yeah, they're both in here. You can kill him now.
I'll turn
Shakara.
back to the doppelganger. I assure you, Erica is gone. And I have taken her place in the coven. Isabella sends her regards. And I'll use my sword to cut his throat.
All Mia could say was Shakara, and then she just does it. Oh no.
All right, and you've dispatched this doppelganger very easily.
Oh, I had a little help.
Yeah, go untie Mullen and Dreg and stabilize Dreg if he is bleeding out.
Yeah, Falzarin runs over to Dreg and starts pulling at his ropes and the gag on his mouth and sort of smacking him to try and wake him up.
6 points of damage.
That's one failed death save.
I'll walk into the other room and I will try to lay on hands on Drag to give him some hit points and realize I cannot. And I will just take a step back and look confused and then sad and... Mia,
Yes?
could you please help Drag?
Mia was just looking at Mullen. How does Mullen look? Like, how long has Mullen been dead?
Mullen is actually still warm, but he is clearly dead. But yeah, his body is still warm to the touch. Dreg does look stable as you kind of look over him. He's breathing fairly shallowly, and he definitely has suffered a few wounds. He's got some bruises along the side of his face, but doesn't seem like anything significant.
I walk up to Dreg, realizing Mullen's too far gone for me to revive. It's probably for sure been over a minute with my knowledge of dead bodies. So I go up to Dreg and I just lay a hand on his shoulder and he gets 20 hit points back. Do you need more healing, Dreg?
What? Is it truly you? Is he looking to, around to all of you?
Yes.
It's us. We've killed the imposters.
Oh, thank the gods. He looks over and sees Mullen. Oh no, Mullen! What? I don't know what happened. You left for the play, and then me and Shakara, you came back, and then everything was dark after that.
It would seem we need a new way to detect the doppelgangers, in case there are any more.
There were 4 that we knew of, but he said there were more.
He could have been bluffing.
What if he's not?
And like I said, trust nobody.
But we should be able to trust each other, no, Shaft?
I pulled my sleeve up and showed the scar. I go, good enough for me.
We should have asked him if he could mimic that before slitting his throat, Shakara. We weren't done with our questions.
We had nothing else we could get out of him.
And seeing Shaft's scar on his arm and my bare arm, I'm going to put a little cut on my arm and then go over to Drag and put a little cut on his arm.
He kind of winces, as you cut him up.
For our protection.
That creature got what he deserved, Mia.
I know, maybe he knew something about Kralakina and that whole mess. Still such a mystery. And I just stare off to the distance, because that's obviously what set me off. Mia off, and me off.
Set the me off!
Set the me off with the pommel of my sword. Okay.
Well, maybe we should all stay in the same room tonight, just to be on the safe side.
I certainly would feel a lot more comfortable if we did that.
My room's cleaner than these rooms. You wanna come
not
in?
this room, the door's broke.
And we'll walk back into the boys' room and pick up the dagger, Drag's dagger, and then walk back to them and hand it back to him.
You obviously need to learn how to use this better.
I still feel weak.
We can train. You can be stronger.
I would like that.
Falzarin will walk over to Mullen's body and put a hand on his upper arm and sort of just sigh and grab for a sheet to pull up over his head.
I'll go back to the room, get my stuff, shut the door after, I'll get all my stuff and walk back over into the girls' room and sort of pull a pillow and pull the blanket off their bed, since mine was tying up a doppelganger, and curl over in the corner. I go, okay, can we try not to make any more noise tonight?
Well, I know it didn't work out so well the last time, but I'm able to recreate the tiny hut if anyone would like to join me in it. Usually it's our safest bet.
How many can fit in a tiny hut?
9.
Like 9 creatures.
Okay.
Yes.
Perhaps safety in numbers if multiple of us are inside.
I'm in. I show Falzarin my wrist. It's your admission to entry, right?
Yes.
And sit with my back on the wall.
Yeah, I'm in.
Drag, say goodbye to Mullen and come join us.
And yeah, Dreg does take a moment, and as he departs, he kind of, in passing, puts a hand on Falzarin's shoulder, like of gratitude for what he did for Mullen, and will join you. And Shakar, as you leave, you actually see that this is the room directly next to the room that you put the dead doppelganger in, just like a few hours before. So you're very close to picking the exact
If I
room.
had picked a different room, I would have seen them.
Potentially, yes.
Oh.
Okay, so we all popping into this tiny hut, and we want to finish out this rest. Okay, great. So your long rest isn't interrupted because it hasn't been longer than an hour. So the few hours that you got before still contribute to your long rest. And another couple hours pass. Are we setting up watches though for the last 4 hours?
Yes.
Yeah.
Falzarin would want to for sure. He's pretty shaken up. He's not going to be able to sleep soundly.
2 watches go by, another 4 hours, and you all complete your long rest. No more interruptions, no more doppelgangers for the time being.
For the time being. He reserves the right to bring them in later.
At least we'll have hit points and
Spells.
All right, morning arrives. Would someone like to roll me a weather die? It is a new day after all.
All right, I will do that. That's a 4.
A 4 is an overcast day. Temperature kind of mild, but those kind of low-lying gray and blackish kind of clouds settled over the city.
I think that's how Falzarin and Dreg are feeling at the moment. After losing Mullen last night and almost losing our own lives.
Wake up. Ah, what a glorious day! Finally, I feel so alive. Come on, Falzarin. Wake up, buddy.
Oh, Shaft. I do feel more rested, but I'm having trouble shaking off what happened last night. My goodness, I was almost defenseless in there with him.
Yeah, but you're all better
I don't
now.
care what happened to you last night, Falzarin. You boys disobeyed our orders. You were at the theater. We said to wait for my word.
Hey, drop it. That's ancient history.
You almost got me killed. Thank God for Jolvi.
Hey, we gotta do what we gotta do.
I can't just sleep it off and forget about it.
Why did you show up early?
I'm sorry, but we were sort of forced to. I mean, I don't know. Perhaps we could have put up more of a fight, but...
All I know is I sent a message, and you replied, okay. And then next thing you know, you beat me to the stage. This is craziness.
Look,
That was not...
Kula said we were supposed to go meet Isabella, so we followed him. And I'd point over at Kula. Right?
Yes, I was instructed to retrieve them. I did take them through the back entrance of the theater to the stage. I unwittingly played my part in your close encounter, Mia. I do apologize.
And he was quite demanding as well. Trust me,
I asked
wanted
rather
to enjoy.
politely, I thought.
It's all a matter of perception, really, but...
We were enjoying some very fine dining, or at least the price would reflect that, and it was cut short. So, Mia, you're not the only
My
one who's
qualm
upset.
is actually not with Kula, boys.
Look,
the
plans
two
are
of you.
fluid. You gotta move with what's going on. You know that. You know that better than anybody.
Speaking of plans, what are our plans for today? Do we try to go to the Pussycat Palace? Do we try to save Mia's family?
I mean, the best time to go to the Pussycats during the day. There's not a lot of people around.
Dreg, how are you feeling?
I'm healed from my wounds, at least. Do you need me to accompany you? Do you need help?
I believe not, but I would feel better about leaving you behind if you were capable of taking care of yourself.
Well, I can leave Kula here.
And Hulsa?
Here's the thing. What do we want to do with Mullen? Would he want to stay dead? Because if we find my family member at the Pussycat Palace, they could resurrect him.
That is an option.
Someone needs to stay with the body.
Dreg, would he want that?
What are the ramifications of such a spell. It's not my specialty.
Well, if his soul is free and willing, he'll return to life. I mean, it neutralizes things like poison, disease, curses, etc. However, Mullen would like this. It actually restores missing body parts. But it is an ordeal. It takes, some life force from you.
I don't believe I could speak on his behalf in this regard. Like you say, if his soul is willing, then he is able to make his own choice.
If we could rescue either my brother or my dad, I know they would owe us the favor. They could do it for us. Just, what do we do with the body? We don't have the bag of holding anymore.
That brings up a good point. Falzrin, don't we need to go shopping?
Yes, I do feel a bit, I don't know, naked perhaps is the word. Without my bag of holding, it's nice to feel that all of my belongings are secure.
Magic is the opposite way from the Pussycat Palace, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, the Pussycat would be north, magic would be, east. Wow, I had to do the never eat soggy waffles or whatever.
What?
Yeah, so you would be moving east to go to magic, and the Pussycat Palace is more north.
Never eat soggy waffles?
Yeah, northeast, southwest.
I have never heard that. That's hilarious.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
wieners.
That's a
Never
classic.
eat soggy wieners.
Well, I do have Denny.
Yeah, I mean, that was the plan this morning. Hop on Denny and...
We all got compensated. Why not go shopping together?
About how fast we want to get these things done.
I know you feel a bit of urgency to try and rescue whoever has been captured at the Pussycat Palace from your family, Mia.
It's true, but I wouldn't want to go without you, so I might as well go with you.
Why not Shaft and Falzarin go to magic on Denny, and Mia and I shall start on our way to the palace, and we can look over the place while we wait for them to join us.
Yeah, we'll meet you in the alley across from the Pussycat. You know, where you guys waited before.
Oh, is that the plan, Shaft? We'll wait for you?
I don't know. What do you want the plan to be? And then I'll break it.
I don't know that I want to go without them, Shakara.
We would not enter the palace without them. We would just go and look the place over and check it out, and see if we see anyone coming and going.
A bit of scouting or reconnaissance? That's not a bad idea.
I do not believe they would take very long, especially with Denny.
No, that's true. It shouldn't take us very long at all. Denny can get us there very quickly. We may even make it to the Pussycat Palace around the same time that you arrive. It's hard to say for sure.
I walk over to the window and open it up and go, all right, let's go.
I know how long it takes you to shop, Falzarin. We'll be waiting.
I will try and be quick. It's only one item that I need. All right, travel safe. We'll be with you as soon as we can.
I need to put my armor on, and as I'm doing so...
The three of you, stay here. Watch Mullen's body. Take care of yourselves. Do not go anywhere. Do not let anyone in. I believe the paladins are on our side, but we do not know all of them.
Yeah, Dragon also kind of nod. Kula, though, speaks up. I have no problem helping you here if you need it, but I really do need to return to Isabella soon.
Can you just wait till we get back?
Of course.
Once this is settled, I will give you my blessing to be on your way.
I understand.
Thank you.
And I will walk out the door.
So, to be clear, me and Sugar are not giving Shaft and Falzer a bit of a shopping list for anything that they might want from Magic.
No,
Okay.
because I kind of wanted to go shopping, but I'm just pissed at them, so it's fine.
Okay. Shaft's okay with you being pissed at him.
So I'll take Shaft and Falzer. Saddle up on Denny once more. Does not take you long to fly over to Magic. You do see again, drawing a bit of a crowd, due to your exploits up in the air on this magical broom. Not nearly as large as the previous day, but still definitely people interested in, you know, the two of you and what you're flying on. But you do land in front of magic.
Say to Falzarin, when do these kids get so mouthy? I can't wait till this is all done.
Well, you know, she's from a different generation, and I think also was raised a bit differently than you or I as well.
Yeah, well, give somebody some money and a hammer, and they get all pissy about everything.
Yes, she does. She does have a bit of attitude at times.
And what about Shakara? I mean, jeez, she's sort of taken a dark path.
It's certainly quite the transformation. I don't know what to think about it.
All right, let's get in here. We need to get a couple bags and get this stuff squared away and get out of town.
Yes, I agree. Let's get this over with quickly. So I go up to the door and open it.
And you walk inside, and there's no one else in here, as usual, really. Other than, of course, the shop owner. Well. Back so soon, are we?
You know, sir, I should have thought of it last time I was here, but it slipped my mind. I guess I was in a bit of a rush. I'm in need of something to keep my belongings in. Have you heard of a bag of holding?
Well, boy, howdy have I ever. Popular item.
Have you heard of two of them?
Well, that's a bit of a taller order now, isn't it? But I think we can rustle something up.
I like it.
That would be perfect. And also, I believe it might be good for us to get some health potions if you have any while we're here.
Of course. What size you be looking for there?
You're gonna have to remind me how they go.
So a regular healing potion, which is 50 gold pieces, heals 2d4 plus 2. The next step is greater healing, which is 200, 4d4 plus 4. Superior healing, which would be 500, 8d4 plus 8. And supreme healing, which is 5,000, 10d4 plus 20.
Not sure we have to talk about that one at all.
Why don't you pick up a couple graders, and I will too. We'll give them to the ladies.
Yeah, why don't I'll take 2 greater healing potions, please, shopkeep, and that I think should do us.
Yeah, double it up for me. I'll take what he's having. Exactly.
Well, this has been the easiest experience I've ever had with a customer. Thank you both kindly. Very, very simple. And he'll disappear to his little backstock room that you've seen him walk into a number of times. Quickly returning with your requested items. Now, since the two of you are so loyal customers, I think maybe I can cut you a little bit of break. You both look a little weary, like you're in heavy need of these items.
Oh, yeah.
Tell you what, that'll be 800 each for the lot.
That's, that sounds fair. I mean, but we do have a frequent buyer policy here, right? I mean, 100 gold that's a pretty nice little discount, and I do appreciate it, but, I mean, this guy over here, I mean, he buys a bag of holding every time we go to town. I mean, that ought to be worth maybe 7, you think?
Falzarin looks over to Shaft and kind of like raises his eyebrows a little bit. He's not going to object to Shaft's comments, but he's kind of curious to see how far he's going to make it.
You see, the shopkeep, gives you that stare, that kind of stare down that he hasn't done in a while. The last couple times he's been here, but he kind of looks you up and down. Well, you know what? I think you make some mighty fine points. This time, for your friend here, he can pay 700. Still 8 for you, I'm afraid. But listen, I don't know what you'll be doing with these bags of holding, but you can't be coming in here every time expecting them to get cheaper and cheaper to replace them.
Fair enough. I look at Falzarin. So yeah, 750 each sounds like a good deal.
Falzarin chuckles a little bit.
It's the same price for me. I do not care.
That seems fair enough, Shaft. And he reaches into his pockets and pulls out the gold. I'm hoping this is the last bag of holding I'll need for a long time, sir. But I do appreciate you helping us out in desperate times.
Well, you know what we always say: magic, magic, magic. We got what you need,
That has been true so far, and I appreciate it.
but not always what you want.
It is nice to know that there's a shop like this in many places in Aspara. Interestingly, maybe I've said this before, it does seem awfully familiar no matter where the shop is located.
Well, that's all part of our experience. We want the customer to feel at home when they're here, no matter what city they're in.
Yes, I think you said something to that effect last time as well. Falzarin kind of smirks at him, gives him a bit of a, I don't know about a knowing look, but basically thinks that something more is at play here with Mr. Magic, Magic, Magic.
Well, if there's nothing else, I am quite busy.
Yes, no, we're in a bit of a rush as well, so I appreciate the service. It's been a pleasure as always. You take care. Hope to see you again soon.
As we walk out the door, I'll start to shut the door and I'll go, I'll be sure to tell my friends. And then shut it.
Okay, so, very quick, the two of you are going to hop back on Denny and make your way to the Pussycat Palace?
I'm going to talk to Falzarin for a second. Hey, the cipher's back at Kepley's place. We going to keep it there?
Yes, well, how long have we got until Samuel gets here? I think we said...
When Samuel gets here, he's going to be pissed. Because somebody ransacked his house and took the cipher. I think we should tell him the doppelgangers. When we killed the doppelgangers, we found these books that you have on you. Without the cipher. Follow me? We were never at Samuel's place.
Right, of course.
So, we can either take the books that you have, take them over to Kepley's and hide them with the cipher, or you keep them, and then when Samuel finds out that you have them, you say, this is what we found. As an act of good faith, you tell him, hey, we found these books, they might be yours, when we killed the doppelgangers.
Right. And then, what's the plan for the cipher?
Well, we hang on to it. These pieces of armor, they have power. Do we really want to hand this over to Samuel? You know that Mia wants him to be all-powerful to take out the Neogi. And if Shakara gets a hold of it, she's going to take it back to Isabella and have that little Dendar party. It's up to you and me to try to keep this stuff safe.
I am certainly worried about both of those situations. What are we going to do about the Neogi?
I don't know. I mean, if you think we can trust Samuel, we can give him. Actually, he was supposed to give us the cipher.
I don't know, Shaft. I don't know that I trust Samuel, but I wonder if he's a lesser of two evils. These Neogi, we're certain, are going to be a problem the longer they're left unchecked.
Yeah, it's a sticky situation. I think we leave the cipher with Kepley, see how it plays out with Samuel, and if things go really bad, we can always go get it.
Yeah, I think that might be a good place to start.
All right.
It's good thinking, Shaft.
We on the same page here, then? We'll give Samuel the books if we get questioned. I mean, Samuel's going to go back to his place. Oh, by the way, and I reach in and take my pal boys out. We should probably get rid of this, too. I'm sure he's looking for it.
Oh my, yes. Yes,
I look, and whoever's walking down the street, whoever the next person that passes, I go, here you go. And I hand it to him.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like a teenage boy. He's, maybe 14 or 15. He's
There.
Looks at it for a second, and like a look of fantasy on his face as he scampers off with it.
There, now it's in good hands.
Oh, goodness, Shaft.
All right.
You never cease to surprise me.
That's what I'm here for.
Let's stick to that plan. I like it.
Anything else? I mean, if we go into the Pussycat, we're gonna take care of Mia's brother, father, whatever, and then we're heading up to the mountains.
That was what I had in mind. I don't know. I can't think of anything else we need to deal with in the meantime. It certainly would be nice if we could find out what's going on with Mia's relative and perhaps also restore Mullen if he's willing.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so like straight to the Pussycat Palace.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna be riding Denny fast.
Just go up high and then sort of, fastest between 2 points.
All right, excellent.
It seemed like a loaded question.
Now just making the path through the city very clear. So, Falzern, you have all your belongings with you now, right?
Yeah, so they would have all, when I left the inn, they were all there, and I would have tried to, if it was possible, to carry all of them with the bag that I was given by Jewel V and just whatever else pockets I have and whatnot. I would have tried to bring as much or all of it as possible.
The only other thing, how much time do I estimate it's going to take them to walk to the Pussycat Palace versus the time it's taken us to get to Magic? Do we have time?
Yeah, the walk to Hannah, the northernmost part of Hannah's district, just walking to the theater took an hour and a half, so the Pussycat Palace is only a couple blocks away. The broom ride to Magic is more like 20-25 minutes.
Okay, so could we go to Lag's area and then get back in a reasonable amount of time?
I would say that the distance, it's like the Tickley Servant is between, Pussycat Palace and Lag's bar. Probably the Tickley is about equidistant, so you'd definitely be faster on the broom for sure.
Yeah, I just want to know if I'd be able to get there, have a conversation, and then get back without them realizing we were gone extra long. And if I don't think that's possible, then I'm not even going to bring it up.
I think it would be very close. You'd have to have a very quick conversation at Lag's.
Okay. So Falzern, there's one other thing if we have time. If you can broom me over to Lag's, I wouldn't mind telling him about Hannah, biting it. He's the only guy left in town. We want to have him on our side.
Okay, I suppose if we can do it quickly.
Yeah, let's go.
So, straight shot. Now, this path now that you've newly formed will basically take you back to the Tickley. And as you are approaching the Tickley, flying, 50, 60 feet up in the air, right? You see that Kepley is standing outside of the Tickley Servant, knocking on the door, as, again, it is still barred from regular entry.
Hey, look, there's Kepley. Go down there.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I sort of, pull back on Denny and try and urge the broom down towards the Tickley Servant before we zip by it.
And as Denny lands this time, you see that Denny, the back end where Shaft is, Denny lowers itself, so Shaft is not, what did you call it before?
I don't remember.
Dangling and kicking for the
Your
ground.
testicles are safe.
Oh, okay.
So as the back end of the broom lowers fines for your height, and the front end remains at Falzern's height. So both of you land very nicely. Seems that Denny is learning to accompany these two different sized riders.
Very good.
Thanks, Denny.
Yeah, and Kepley turns as you land next to him. Oh, my boy. Oh, my goodness, what is this?
Kepley, lots have been going on. I sort of is there anybody around? Is the streets crowded or ever?
It's becoming onto mid-morning now, so they're starting to populate more and more.
I'll just sort of grab him and pull him aside with Falzern, and I go, I don't know if you've heard, I don't know if the news is out, but Hannah's dead.
What do you mean? What happened at the theater? I heard there's a massacre there. What did you do, my boy?
Well, things happened, and, she didn't make it out, along with some others.
But everyone attending the play, you needed to kill them all?
No.
I beg your pardon? Everyone attending the play?
There were no survivors.
This is news to us.
Apparently Hannah made it out with her guards, but everyone else perished in the attack.
Oh my goodness. That is certainly not... How is that possible?
I look over at Falzer and I mean, she's dead, right? I didn't not see that correctly.
We both saw the same thing.
Where did you get this news, Kepley? Is this secondhand or...
Yes, second hand, if not third, but, I have my channels, but something as big as this doesn't go unnoticed.
I think they're probably trying to keep up the ruse that she's still alive. I mean, if they know she's dead, it could cause all kinds of havoc.
Nearly 100 people murdered.
That is awful. Surely Hannah's people wouldn't kill that many innocent bystanders just so that there are no witnesses.
I don't know.
If you say that Hannah is dead, I agree with you, my boy. I don't know about it either. Her death is magnitudes of consequences in the city.
Yeah, I know. With the paladins here temporarily and Detmer gone, and now with her dead, I reach into my pouch and I pull out the cestus that I found down under the theater, and I put it in Kepley's hand. I go, "Can you take this to Lag and let him know?"
My goodness, what is this?
These were his. We found them under the theater. Hannah had them. Let him know I'm returning them to him, and that as far as we know, Hannah's dead, and there's going to be some play in the city for who's going to take it over. Right now, I'd rather it be Lag than the Paladins.
I will certainly get him the message, yes. Not a problem, my boy.
And the package, everything's still safe?
Safe and sound.
All right.
Thank you, Kepley. Be safe.
Listen, Eve, keep a low profile. If you're a pin for this in any way,
I don't think anybody knows we were involved at this point. Except you.
Well, I certainly know you did not massacre a theater full of people.
No, of course not.
That's terrible. I can't believe it.
If Hannah's death was unavoidable, then that is unfortunate. But I'm just glad you are right, my boys. Puts a hand on your shoulder, Shaft.
And I put my other hand on his shoulder. I said, "Take care, my friend. We'll see you soon."
Yes, and he'll begin to scurry off back towards his little shop.
I walk over to Denny and sort of tap it on the back of the broom, on the brushy part.
And it lowers.
I jump on. Come on, Falstern.
Well, this was a bit opportune. Saved us a bit of traveling. Hopefully he can make it to Lag safely.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
I think the immediate future of this city could be very treacherous for the inhabitants here.
Well, let's get Mia's brother, father, whatever, before Samuel gets back.
Yes, let's. So I urge Denny back up into the sky.
That's it. That's all we have for you. That's our show. Be sure to follow us on the social media. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's all on the website, incorrigibleparty.com. You get all kinds of information there. Incorrigible Party is sponsored by Critical Hit Design, And all ambient sounds and music during the episodes are courtesy of tabletopaudio.com. And our intro and outro music was created by Josh Jarvis. You can find him at jamesmercymusic@gmail.com. Now scram. Happy adventuring.